Alright guys, so there are a lot of 3x3s out on the market, and the question on everybody's mind is which one to choose. So, in this video I'm going to go over all of my 3x3s here, which really isn't a lot compared to how many are on the market. And I'm also going to go through lubricant, so I have lubricant, right? And then also I will go through mods, and as you can see I have two Zenchis here, and this one's modded, this one isn't, so I'll also go through that, and also go through small cubes and how they're useful and whatnot. So let us get into it. I only have 10 minutes, so I gotta go fast. So alright, first off we have our Rubik's Cube, and this cube I think is perfect for beginners and cubes like it. And also get into the DIY cubes next. And what's good about this is for beginners it locks up a lot, so it really teaches you cube control. And of course mine doesn't do that as much as a normal Rubik's Cube because it's gone through a lot. So next we have our Cube for You DIY kit here, and this is going to represent most of our DIY kits out there, because you know they're pretty much all the same, plus minus a few differences. And as you can see, you know, pieces are pretty much the same. It's just adjustable, and you know you can lubricate them, and you know, just a little bit better. And also good, helps you learn cube control, but a little faster, so you know, not as annoying as with the lockups and stuff. Alright, now I will talk about some more, like, you know, normal speed cubes, and pretty much what I consider normal speed cubes is rounded. So F2 here, very rounded, and I mean the internals can also be rounded, stuff like that. So you know, ghost hands are similar, like somewhere mixed in between, I think. And I don't know what else. I mean, there's so many other speed cubes, Maru, Sheng Shao, whatever. So lots of stuff there. And so they're rounded, and you know, just because they share the same, you could say, mechanism as with the Rubik's Cube, it doesn't make them bad. I know a lot of people at my first competition were still very loyal to the F2, even though, you know, dying cubes are taking over. But I still think they're pretty good. And that brings me to another point, which is, so basically this is my main I use in competitions, and this used to be my previous main. When I first got this dying cube, you know, with no mods and anything, it actually slowed me down by 5 seconds. It was so fast. And you may ask why. And that is because it is so fast that it becomes uncontrollable, and that actually hurt my times. And now I've gotten used to it, and you know, it's around the same as this. But this cube, what it does, it may be slower, it may not cut corners as well, it may not reverse cut at all, pretty much, but since it's like that, it's very easy for me to handle. And also, when I solve, look ahead for me is amazing with this cube. It's just phenomenal how much I can look ahead. For some reason, a lot more than this, and I think it's because since it's slower, I'm really looking around. It forces me to look around and see what's actually happening. So a little thing there. So you know, fast cubes aren't necessarily fast for everybody, and I think I'm a good example of that. Right? So then we'll get into Type E, and this is my example of how some cubes are brilliant for some people and some are not. And the reason for this is this cube is extremely blocky, more blocky than a Rubik's Cube, but it is super fast. So you know, if you when you move the cube have fast, precise movements, then I'm sure you could get amazing times with this cube. But if you're sloppy with your moves, then maybe something that could really handle it, like a Zenchi or an F2, which is more rounded and corner cuts better. So, you know, a good example of why this may be good for someone else, because it's, I'd say, faster than other cubes out of the box, but it suffers from block-ups because of its blockiness. And now Zenchi. So this and other dyeing cubes, you know, is what's taking over, and they have an amazing mechanism here, and as you can see, that's nothing like a normal Rubik's Cube. And it just gives you phenomenal speed and corner cutting and all that good stuff, and especially reverse corner cutting, which was unheard of before dyeing cubes came out. So they are very good cubes, but like I said before, sometimes it's just not what will make you faster, and really nothing makes you faster. To answer the question of which 3x3 to choose, there really is no answer, but it's the cube or not the cube. Anyways, alright, so next up, before I talk about mods, I'll talk about small cubes. This is my C1 here, and this pretty much represents other small cubes. I know there's like Dian Chang small cubes and what else. And same size as a 2x2, but that doesn't matter because I don't know what other smaller cubes do. And I think small 3x3s are slightly underrated. I mean, well, this many 3x3s not very useful, but for one-handed, I think they can be brilliant because, I mean, you can really wrap your hands around this and control it much easier than a bigger 3x3, like, you know, my YJ foot cube. So, I think they can be very useful, and even for two-handed, if you have small hands, I think, you know, that would even help. Alright, mods. So, what mods do is, of course, attempt to speed up your cube. But, really, all these mods I've done to this, I've done a 120-point edge mod, 72-point corner mod, Lubriced it, and put the Cube View core in it. It really doesn't improve my times. I mean, it feels better, but it doesn't improve my times. So, really what I think the best mod is for any cube is to break it in. And that should theoretically wear down the parts that, you know, are slowing you down, and therefore a cube that you have broken in will be better than someone else's modded cube, I think. Or, well, maybe not, but I mean, it'll be the best for you. That's what I think. So, that covers mods. Now, lubrication. We have pretty much three main lubricants, I'd say. We got jig-a-loo / CRC, Lubix, or also Traxxas diff oil, and Vaseline. Now, Vaseline is really only more useful for the big cubes, but it does help eat away at plastic if you're like breaking something in or whatever. You want to get it all out when you clean it and then lube it with something better. So this is more of something to help you break in or whatever. And then we have jig-a-loo and Lubix, which can be used permanently on your cube, I'd say. So jig-a-loo is actually, my example for this is, you know, Lubix not always being the best for everything is also, once again, my C2. So, jig-a-loo actually drastically improved this, and when I put Lubix in it later on, it didn't really do that much, and it sort of gave it this weird feel, and it still has that sort of weird feel, to this day. So, you know, Lubix isn't always the way to go, no matter how fast it makes some cubes. Anyways, but Lubix I have put in this cube, and it is amazing, and I also use it for some big cubes mixed in with jig-a-loo, and it also works very well. Alright guys, so that's all I have time for. Thank you for watching. Have you ever wondered what that little white button above our videos does? Well, let's find out. No need to subscribe to yourself. Oh well, it looks like you guys will just have to figure it out.